fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast, so if you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot, turn this off before you get butthurt and mad, start to cry, have to run to your safe space. All opinions are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any government agency. Welcome everybody to another episode of MotorCop Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Iceman. As always, today we have something we don't get too often on here. We actually have another motor cop, and he's been a motor cop for a long time, also 10 plus years. He's still active duty also. So we're going to get started. Oh, let me get the housekeeping out the way. Go like and subscribe if you're on Apple, and you give us 5 stars, write a review. We appreciate it. I'll give you a shout out. Go check the merchandise and swag out on our Etsy store. It'll be in the link in the descriptions below. And other than that, let's get it started. I want to welcome his listen to me. The TikTok account is Motorcop4Life with the number 4. If y'all want to go check him out there. So we're gonna welcome him in. He's already here. So welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I'm actually excited because you don't know the hardest part of doing this is finding other law enforcement people to be guests. Because
with the current political status, I can understand that.
Yeah, well, a lot of places, a lot of departments do have very, very, very strict social media policies.
Yeah. Luckily, I work for a pretty relaxed one. My chief is on TikTok himself, and he's very proud that he has over 100,000 followers. So,
well, let him know because he can come over on here and tell some of his stories too if he would like.
Yeah, but he's a canine. Do we like canine guys?
Yeah, I do all first responders. I recently had firefighter DeLucky on here. He's a local firefighter in the area in Louisiana. Because he made the local news for life saving. He saved 2 baby goats using the pet oxygen mask thing and stuff like that. So I mean,
what?
Yes, he did.
So is he technically the goat of firefighters?
He is the goat of firefighter. But
awesome.
But I interview all first responders, military also. I just love meeting new people and stuff like that. But you're special because you're actually a motor cop.
Oh, we're special, all right.
Well, I don't know if you, a long time ago, they had this guy. I think he's passed away since then. I think he had a heart attack a long time ago. But he used to come out to motorcycle competitions. And he used to have a website called Motorcop.com. I think it's for sale.
I actually have some of his shirts and a couple of his pins.
Well, I had some of his shirts too. I still got them. I saved them after he passed. I had the one that said "Motorcops scare other cops," and
yep, got both. Got the long sleeve and the short sleeve.
And another one, I think it said, I think he had one that said "Press hard 5 copies," and then they had another one. So I think it said "God made 2 types of cops: motor cops and the rest he put in cars."
Got that one, and then there was one that said "Real cops do it wearing motor boots."
Yes. My wife actually made up a shirt. I don't know if I think she made it for herself because she does t-shirt. But it says bikes, pants, boots. Oh my, like that, you know.
Yes.
So, because I see on your videos, I think you wear the traditional full motor uniform every day when you're working.
It varies. I used to back in a rural area. I usually just use regular trousers and boots. And then if I was on a special detail or felt special, I'd break the boots and breeches out because we had a lot of chip and seal on gravel roads. But now I'm more into it. I always liked the looks of it. It was more just simplicity and maintenance back in the day. But I am a big fan of the boots and breeches.
Yeah, well, my previous department where I was a sergeant over the motor division, we I was an original motor guy there. We started out, wearing straight legs and stuff, and then in the winter we used to go to the motor booths. Well, very early on we went to the motor booths, and all of us were like, man, we don't want to look like just all the other cops, we're motor cops. And
well, that's kind of part of the special deal. If you dressed up right, everybody's like, oh, these guys aren't normal.
Yeah. So we went to the motor boots and britches year round. They still like that over there. Part when I went down, when I got back in motors in the part when I went down, every time I did it, I was all, the guy I work with, he hasn't been in motors that long. He'll wear them all the time, but because I switch back and forth and I don't live in an area like, so if I know what I'm not doing any special details, we wear Class B's most of the time. Yeah. So I'll just wear my Class B's because it's more comfortable. Now, if I know I'm doing something, I'll throw the motor boots and the motor pants and all that stuff on now. But after 20-something years, I'm like, oh, my God, I just want to be comfortable.
Oh, I get it. Trust me. That's why some days I'm in straight legs and just regular patrol boots. But
you got to get them pants tapered, though.
Oh, yeah.
If not, you'll be showing some leg.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look crisp, but at the same time, you don't want your pants up to your knees and blowing in the wind.
Oh, for the listening audience, you're on a BMW, correct?
Yes.
Of course, we're Harley guys. Most departments around here are all Harleys, Road Kings. We have a few electric lights, or full fairing bikes, but not many. Those BMWs are. Once you get proficient in it, you can turn them in cone patterns very sharply, and they are very, very fast because I've ridden them before.
I started on a KZ1000, and it was kind of funny because it was towards the end of its effective use. I mean, mine was a 2000, and I went through wheel school in 2010 on it and didn't get rid of it till 2015. So, I mean, it was old, but it was always so funny because the old guys that rode all the Harleys, they always made fun of it, saying it was outdated and whatever. But then I'd show up to a rodeo, and first thing out of their mouths is I had an unfair advantage and that it hinged in the middle because you could turn that thing around in a postage stamp.
Oh, yeah. Y'all have motor competitions?
We do. I haven't competed in one since 2017. I used to go to all of them, and then I got off motors in 18 for just about 2 years, and I got back on it, and there was a local competition last year, and I really wasn't interested. I don't know if I've crossed the cusp where I'm just like, you know what, I have nothing to prove to anybody, or if it was just, a lot of the guys in the 2 years I was gone in motors that I knew in the metro here, a lot of them moved on, retired, promoted out. It's just a whole different breed of guys, and it was kind of fun to compete against your buddies. Now I don't know any of them.
Yeah. Well, our local competition out here is Gulf Coast Police Motorcycle Competition. It's been canceled. I think it's on for this year, but we canceled the last 2 years because of course, COVID. I haven't competed in a while, but I don't know. I'm still up in the air if I'm going to compete this year. We're one of the sponsoring agencies, so I work at it. I'm there. I just helping all the time, but I don't know. I'm up in the air because now I'm 51 now, and I can compete in the 50 and over group. And I don't even know how old you are, but
I'll be 39 next week or next month.
He's still a young man.
Yeah, just a baby.
And but there's not I don't know how many motor guys y'all have in y'all's area or anything like that, but 51-year-old motor guy is like, there's not a whole lot of us out there at my age because it's a young man sport.
Yeah. I mean, within 10 minutes of me, there's probably 30 motor guys, but I'm right in the heart of the metro. But we had one guy who retired, and he had 35 years on it at a local agency on motors.
That's
and
amazing.
He retired. He retired and went to the county sheriff's department, and they bought a motorcycle for him, and he's on a state traffic grant, and he's been on that thing for 2 years. So he's got to have like 40 years on motors by now.
This dude's got to be like 60-something years old.
Yeah, like, when are you gonna retire, bro?
No, there's just some point I made the point, I can retire in like 3.5 years if I want to. I'll be 54 with my 30. I'm still up in the air. I would like to do the drop program because that is a lot of money to walk away from. But like I said, it depends on how I feel, what my body's doing. I have been, in a total of 3 crashes. And I'm just waiting to see because I don't know, you can attest, riding that motorcycle puts a lot more beating on your body than riding a patrol unit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like right now in the wintertime, we're real big on salt and sand up here in this part of the world with snow. And, it might, like it snowed today, and it's going to snow tonight. And tomorrow the sun's going to come out. So, everything's melted. And then anytime you go into a corner, there's just a film of sand and salt. And, you can wipe out at any time, not even know it. And
so you still ride when it snows?
Oh, yeah. There's pictures of me on TikTok and Facebook of me covered in snow, and you can't even see out of the windshield.
That's a true motor guy right there, everybody. True motor man. Because I'm a real motor man, but if it snows, I'm not getting on no damn motorcycle. I'll tell you that right now.
The command staff always makes fun of me because, if it's not accumulating on the road or ice, I'm on the bike. Rain, don't care. Hail, not a fan. I'll go to the office for hail. But if it's snowing and not sticking to the road where it's going to just make me crash out, I'm on that thing.
Well, we don't have a lot of experience down here in South Louisiana in driving on the snow. They'll start shutting schools down if they think they're going to get flurries. Okay, I'm not joking. We
walking uphill both ways and the foot of snow with the dinosaurs on both sides of the road, that didn't happen down there in Louisiana.
No. Well, you said it snowed up there last night or today?
It snowed up here today. They were calling for 5 to 8. I think it snowed about 4, maybe. But it's supposed to snow again tonight, another inch or 2.
Yeah, we were 76 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Now now let me tell you about the Midwest. So yesterday it was 50. Today it snowed. It's going to snow tomorrow. Sunday it'll be 56, and by Tuesday it'll be 75. That's good times.
Oh yeah, well I'll tell you. Well, we always say here, everybody probably says that. We say if you don't like the weather in Louisiana, just wait a few hours. It will change. And tomorrow we do have. Well, our cold front is probably like springtime for y'all. Tomorrow. Well, tonight the low's 50. Now tomorrow will be 75 again. Tomorrow with a 50% chance of rain, but the low tomorrow night will be 35, and then Saturday the low's 28.
Oh hell, that's just a light jacket weather up here.
No, that's like 28's like that's the cold. I think that's the coldest we've had this year. But you come by now 28 Saturday night. Now Monday night it'll be 54, and during the day it'll be 71.
Yeah. Tomorrow night it's going to be 6.
Yeah, so we're looking next weekend in the high 70s, almost 80s.
Yeah, well, that's where we're going to be next week, 60s and 70s, which I'm more than ready for that. I hate cold weather.
And you live in a cold climate.
Tell me about it.
Y'all, I know, like I said, when I went towards Canada, stuff like that, y'all have like almost no humidity.
Not in the wintertime. Come summertime, you can cut the sky with a knife up here. It is drenching nastiness.
No, because our humidity is the worst.
Yeah, you're on the coast. You're going to beat me on humidity. Like, I get that.
So,
it's the boots and breeches really, because my breeches are 100% wool, so they get.
What kind?
They don't get a lot of wear time in the summer.
What breeches do you wear? What brand?
I think they're Law and Order brand from Innapole.
Oh, I haven't heard of them. There's a company in Florida that I wish I could remember the name of them. They custom make your breeches, and I have some 511 makes them. I got some of those, but them son of bitches are thick.
Yeah, well, these are
so thick.
They call these year round, which you can wear them year round, but in the summer, they're on. But the nice thing about them is the administration likes them because they're like $135 a pair.
Mm-hmm. That's about, I think it's about 120, 130 for the place out of Florida, but they're made like your straight legs, that material, so it breathes a whole lot more.
Yeah, this is like 90% wool. I think it's got a little bit of poly in it, but it's nice in the wintertime.
Oh, yeah,
because they keep you toasty.
Well, I'll tell you what I do during the summer is I wear the Under Armour heat gear like the football players and all them wear underneath their uniform, because especially when I start sweating, it kind of like keeps me, It helps, but if you got wool breeches on, you ain't getting no airflow barely through that.
What's your like high temperatures in the summertime? 90s, 100s,
100s plus, with like almost like 98% humidity.
Yeah, yuck.
It's like the temperature. It's 98 today, but it feels like it's 110.
Thanks for telling me that. Just say it's 110. Don't put that 98 out there.
Yeah, about 240 degrees from that motor boiling up between my legs. Everybody's like,
that's the nice thing about the BMW. The way they're designed, the heat goes down and out by the back wheel and the kickstand.
Do you get? Well, I don't know if you get it. We get it, and it just bothers the shit out of me. And I finally just tell people, like, well, because I'm like sitting there just dripping sweat or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, just go ride. You're on a motorcycle. I'm like, yeah. I say, you ever like use the blow dryer on your hair or anything? Oh yeah. I said, why don't you just stick it in your face and hold it there for just 15, 20 minutes? And they just look at me. I was like, that's what it feels like when you're driving at 110 degrees. It just feels like a blow dryer is blowing in your face. Okay.
Yeah, basically, it's like that little truck driver fan right in front of your face, just blowing the hot air on top of you. Come on, man. Do you wear the Super Sear? Has a really cool product, kind of like a beanie for your head. It's made out of that quick dry material.
I got two of them. It says motors on with the little motor wheel front.
Yeah, those things are phenomenal.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Y'all wear 3/4 or full face or
half shell, baby?
See, we don't wear those. We kind of like the ones like they had on chips back in the original days. Though
that's what I have. The old half shell. That's it.
Yeah, that's what we wear. I love it though.
And that's and not to get into the whole thing, but I started the motor unit at this department. They've never had one before, and I just said, look, I'm the one riding it. I want a half shell because I used to have a full shell for my personal bike, which is a cafe racer. Mm-hmm. And that was great on that bike, but I hate full shell or full helmets. And I don't even like 3/4 because you can't see out of the sides of them and you can't hear nothing. The
3/4 helmets, the state police down here don't use them no more, but they used to 15, 20 years ago. And and they were like gold and blue. And it was the funny shit. I don't know, how some of the listeners are. If you ever saw the movie Spaceballs.
Yes.
They look like fucking space balls going down the road with these big. I was like, oh my God, y'all look.
Well, there's a couple agencies here that are just municipalities, and they wear the modulars.
Oh, the ones that you can click up and down and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, in the winter or pouring ass down rain, okay, that's fine. But God, in the summer here, I wouldn't ride. But nope, not happening.
Well, there's also I bought being the guys I work with, there's a snap. You can pull your visor off and snap on a clear face shield. Works really good to rain. It does.
I've found out. I carry my baklava or whatever you want to call it. Damn Russian name I can't pronounce. I got an Under Armour one, and I use it in the winter because I ride when it's 5 degrees. It doesn't bother me. But I found out in the pouring down rain, that is what makes life livable in the pouring down rain. Just throw that baby on. It's water wicking, but it doesn't pelt you in the face. That thing absorbs the pelt. Yeah. And then just kind of air dries itself. I can do this. Hell, this is easy. Why did it take me 5 years to figure that out? Why did anybody tell me?
Now, do you run? I'm just curious. I know we're gonna get to the stories in a little bit, people. I'm just curious because he's northern bikes. I don't get to talk to him that far up too often. Do y'all running off a portable or you got a mobile radio on your unit on your bike?
I have both. Our dispatch is a mile from our station. Their station, our station's like a half mile away, but
so they just like open the door and scream, or
pretty much. But I could do everything off my portable if I wanted to, but we put one on there because I get a lot of mutual aid requests to go all over the metro and hell halfway across. We do the. Have you heard of the Run for the Wall?
Yeah.
The Vietnam bikers. There's 3 routes. There's a northern, middle, and a southern route. And the state of Missouri is one of like 2 states in the entire country that escorts that ride from state line to state line. So we pick them up at the state line between Kansas and Missouri and downtown Kansas City, and take them all the way to St. Louis in one day, fully escorted, shut down the highway and everything.
They're running on foot.
No, they're on bikes.
Oh, okay.
There'd be about 200, 300, 400 bikes maybe.
No, we had
plus all their crash cars and trailers and parts and everything else.
We had some firefighters one time come through with some kind of firefighter thing, but they were on bicycles.
Ooh, no thanks.
I'll give it to these guys now. We took them across the parish, and these dudes were like clocking 30 miles an hour sustained. I was like, shit. Until one of them crashed, and that was an horrific bicycle crash at 30 miles an hour. I'm going to tell you, this dude got messed up. This dude got messed up. We were like, fuck.
But I mean, no, I have a mobile on the bike, and that plugs into my SetCom kit on my helmet. So, if I'm rolling around, I'm running off my mobile. As soon as I jump off the bike, then it's unportable.
So you're like me. I do that. Now, the 2 guys I work with, I went to the sheriff and got them to get the mobile units. We have some areas that the portables don't get out. They didn't want them, so their helmets plug into their
they're portable.
They're portable. I like having that mobile unit. And
yeah, and I mean like our portables, I think they have like 16 channels, I think, per band. But like we have in our metro, I don't know how you guys do it down there, but like the whole Kansas City metro area, like 13 counties on Kansas and Missouri side, we have a channel called ReachCom 3. There's like 20 ReachComs. There's ReachCom East, ReachCom West, ReachCom South, blah, blah, blah. But ReachCom 3 is what we call the pursuit channel in the Kansas City metro. So if an agency kicks up a pursuit, their dispatch automatically patches them onto that frequency, so that every unit in the metro knows what's going on, where it's at, and what's coming and what they need. So it really helps out in pursuits. Well, for me to access that channel on my portable, I got to go from A band all the way to C band and go from channel 1 all the way to 14. Where on my mobile on the bike, it's literally a channel down. It's one push of one button, and I'm to the pursuit frequency.
we have like state interrupts, but
pretty much, because everybody in the Kansas City metro went digital finally 3-4 years ago.
We still have really not around us. We still got some apartments here running 400 and stuff.
How are they getting by with that? I thought the FCC put a guideline out.
I have no idea, but they're still running 400.
I guess it's Louisiana. You guys do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah, we're free state of Louisiana. They're running 400s, but no.
Wasn't it 20 years ago you guys weren't going to lower the drinking limit from 0.1 to 0.08? You did it for like 2 years until your roads fell apart?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, they refused till we got to get money to help with the roads. I think it was forever when, because I know when I turned 18, the drinking age was still 18.
I'm telling you Cajuns, you know how to party.
Well, we also have drive-through daiquiri shops.
That would be handy.
No, I'm serious. I mean, it's just a normal thing for, you can go to a daiquiri shop. You can go inside, but I can go through the drive-through at like McDonald's, but it's a daiquiri shop and say, yeah, I need a supersized, Smurf butt daiquiri or whatever, and how they get away with it is they give it to you and they have a piece of tape over the straw hole. So now it's not an open. Oh, my God, that's safety first.
No,
it's not an open container that way.
Yeah.
But as soon as everybody drives off, they stick that straw in it.
I'll bet there's a whole pile of tape at the end of the parking lot.
But it's like, to me, people are like, man, y'all got to drive through daiquiris. I'm like, no, that's not normal.
I mean, we got drive-through liquor stores, which always boggles my mind, but they're not handing you basically an open container with a piece of tape over it.
Yeah, they're handing you a drink that's already made.
Yeah,
frozen drink. It's like, here you go.
That's pretty wild. That's we don't have that around here.
deliciousness. Speaking of deliciousness, everybody, I am partaking in. I got some root beer whiskey going on tonight. I don't remember the name of the brand. It's not Old Smoky, like I usually, but I got root beer, and it is delicious. Going to the Total Wine place this weekend and getting me some more banana flavored whiskey, because I'm going back to drinking my drink that I made up called the Georgia Monkey. Banana flavored whiskey.
That would explain the bananas.
Banana flavored whiskey with the peach crush pop.
No offense, but that sounds terrible.
It believe it or not, my wife hates whiskey and she'll drink this. It's really that good.
I mean, back in my boozing days, I always drank a melon ball, which was vodka, Midori, sweet and sour, a splash of Sprite, and 2 cherries. And if you list all that out on paper, you're like, God, that sounds terrible. But if you drink it and it's made right, it tastes like green Kool-Aid. Very dangerous.
I do that with the Old Smoky makes a salty watermelon flavored whiskey, and I mix it up. That might be good. I mix that up with the watermelon crush, the watermelon flavored cranberry juice, and a shot of sour mix, and it tastes just like a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Ooh, now that would be dangerous.
I don't know if you know, but one of my co-hosts and very good friends, Freebird, that's on the show, I always pick on him because even all the years that he was out there on pounding the pavement, he never got one of those naked calls.
Really?
Really? I mean, he must be the only guy in history. So do you have like a funny naked call that you went on?
You'll like this. I mean, I've never really gotten called to the naked person. I've got called this suspicious activity, and they ended up being naked, if that counts.
Oh, it counts. If they're naked, they're naked.
So, I mean, I work night shift primarily, which night watch on motors is kind of uncommon. But I mean,
yeah, that's very strange. But
that's my life in a nutshell. My shift typically is 5 p.m. to 2 in the morning.
Wow, on a motorcycle.
On a motorcycle, which leads to some very interesting things, because you can hide in the wide open space and nobody sees you. Right. But anyway, so I'm a rookie. I've been an officer for maybe 2 months. And we get called down to the city lake about a suspicious car, possible drug activity, because the car is known to the caller as one of our local dope house cars. So my chief calls me, because I'm a dumb rookie, doesn't know any better. He calls me, goes, swing by the station, pick me up. We'll go down there together. Okay. So I swing by, pick him up, go down to the lake. I park, ways away, so I can sneak up on him in case they've got dope. So, they don't throw it out the window and I never find it. Well, I sneak up on him. It's a nice summer day. I sneak up to the window, and there's not a stitch of clothes on either one of them. And he's laying in the passenger seat, and she's bouncing up and down like she's on one of those workout balls. Going to town. So I knock on the roof, because all the windows are down at summertime. Knock on the roof, and they kind of look over. Neither one of them miss a pump. I mean, full stroking, look right at me and go, "Hey, can we help you?" Not with that. So I said, I hate to break up your little love fest here. You can go ahead and step out of the vehicle, put some clothes on, and step out of the vehicle.
Ma'am, climb off of the penis.
Yeah. And so my chief, he's an older guy, kind of heavy set. He's still back at the car calling it on the radio. So, I've already told him, get done doing what you're doing and put some clothes on, step out of the car. Well, she steps out, no bra, no panties, has them in her hand, doesn't have them on. So his jaw just drops. My chief's jaw just drops. I'm sure you could have heard it fall on the ocean floor there.
Now, well, was she somebody that you'd want to see naked, or one that you don't want to see naked?
Oh, no, she was, on a scale of 1 to 10, she was a strong 8.5.
Oh, well.
She was a doper, but the dope hadn't done its job yet. If you know what I mean?
She was pre-meth.
Yes, exactly. You know that this is your brain on drugs, and they smash the egg. Yeah. She was literally the egg while it was in flight before it hit the pan. Like, that's where she was. Well, then her boyfriend gets out of the car. Now he's smart enough; he put his boxer shorts on. But as old as I do, boxer shorts have a fly in the front.
Correct.
That thing was poking way out.
So this dude didn't lose his erection.
No, he had it the entire time that two cops were interviewing him, running him for wants and warrants. It never went down.
Well, he must have been on something because most people see the cops and that sucker will like shrivel.
I think he either got a thrill out of it or he had some blue pill action. But I mean, he was same age as she was, 22, 23. And he must have, he was no slouch in that department. And it was very obvious. And so, we got done. Neither one of them had warrants. And, we kick them loose. And they're like, do you mind if we go back and finish before we leave? Really? You're serious?
You realize what you're doing is illegal, right?
Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It's like, dude, you cheap motherfucker. Go get a hotel room.
Yeah. I don't care where you go, but you can't do that here. This is a park. People are around. Like, no. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, most of the naked ones you get, it's like, I don't want. Yeah, put that away.
Yeah, I mean, I've stumbled upon some people that work at McDonald's. If you ever work in fast food, apparently it's a rule you have to sleep with all the coworkers. Apparently, because I've found 3 or 4 couples that I know that work at McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell that are shacked up at the commuter parking lots and at the old abandoned baseball fields after, like, what are you doing?
Well, it's time for a McBlowjob.
Yeah, you want a Whopper?
It's like, no, that's Burger King. It's like, I guess after playing with meat all day, I mean, I don't. I mean, granted, most fast food places are high school and college people, but I'm sorry, I don't want to hang out with anybody I work with after work other than like my best friend. Yeah,
I don't want to talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow, and until then, don't call, text, write, nothing.
I guess kind of though. You see the McDonald's people always screwing each other. I mean, I guess it depends on besides agency and stuff. You get to start getting to the bigger agencies. I guess you see a lot of inter-office dating. I say we'll call it, or stuff like that.
Yeah. We're the rookie on FTOs banging the lieutenant, and she's been there 3 weeks. Yeah.
And let me put this out here to everybody. Back in my more youthful time, I did date a girl one time that worked for the sheriff's office. We worked in the same. She was in the tax office area. Let me tell you what. Just
please tell me she was a dispatcher. That way,
no, she was
cliche.
No, she was not a dispatcher. She worked in the tax office. Except I always worked for sheriff's office, which we're a tax collector. And just my advice to everybody: do what y'all want to do. Because I know a lot of couples that they married and work for the same department. But if you're gonna date in inner office stuff like that, just be careful. This shit went bad sideways, and we almost both got fired and stuff. And then you don't like each other no more, and then you still got to look at this person and be around them. It's like, think about it. I always say, don't shit where you eat. Okay.
Yeah, and absence makes the heart grow fonder. You want to be around that son of a bitch 24 hours a day? Hell no.
So, I mean, they got a lot of them that it works out for them. But me personally, I'm like, don't shit where you eat.
Yeah.
I mean, what do? You go home and talk about work and y'all work together? I mean.
Yeah. Did you see that arrest I brought in earlier today? Wow. What do you talk about?
I mean, I have no idea, but that's just me. But it does go on. I mean, a lot, I guess everywhere. I guess some departments. I think some departments have rules against or policies about.
Yeah, I mean, the first agency I worked for, when I first showed up, I'm not going to mention their name, but their last names were the same, and there was a little bit of an age difference, not a lot, maybe 5 years. And it took me about a week, and finally, I asked somebody, I'm like, they seem awfully friendly. Well, they're married. What? They met on the job. He was the supervisor, and they fell in love and got married, and they both left law enforcement, and they've moved on. I mean, they've been together 25 years now. Like, wow. Good for them.
Yeah.
But I've seen it go the other way where, like you said, it goes from lovey-dovey. It's like Cheers. Mm-hmm. Lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden it's thermonuclear war.
I hate your good. I just, like I said, I know they got plenty of them that worked out fine. Personally, I would advise against it. If you're a rookie cop and they got that, hot dispatcher or something like that. So just leave it alone.
Yeah, stay away from the dispatchers. Stay away from the nurses.
Yes, leave it alone.
Don't do any of that. Yeah, we make fun of it, and there's memes on the internet. There's a reason those memes exist.
Well, I had a chief operations when I first started this. And this was a quote that he said, and I'm sure other people heard it. It says, "This badge will get you a whole bunch of that poo nanny, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that poo nanny will get that badge too. Get you
They
fired
told us
in a
that about
heartbeat."
one. They told us that about once a month in the police academy.
Well, when I first started in law enforcement, we didn't even have portables. And
so did you go through the Motorola bricks?
well, the first by the time we got them, they Motorola, but they wasn't real big because they had the big ones. It looks like something you saw in the Vietnam era war, with a
Oh yeah, you could knock a motherfucker out with them things.
But our chief operations back then, we were still working on low band, like 39.5 and stuff.
Oh Jesus, super low band.
And but we were told that if we got caught with a portable, that we would get fired.
What?
Yes, because he's like, quote, "You motherfuckers gonna get that portable, and y'all gonna go in there and try to go in them girls' house and fuck them. We gonna catch you with no portable." Because we had I'm not saying their names, but this guy's retired.
Oh, so they're saying if you have a portable, it's because you're up to no good. You don't want to miss a radio call.
Well, we had one guy. He bought a different mic cord that was 50 feet long. And he'd park next to the window and run his mic through their window and shit.
That guy's a king.
It's like, wow. Yeah.
That guy had it all figured out.
And I know you are a ticket writer. You like writing tickets.
I mean, nothing makes me happier than seeing something that pisses me off when I'm not on duty and seeing them do it when I'm on duty and me stopping them and getting them.
Yeah.
But I mean, anymore, I don't know how it is down there, but in Missouri, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. You want to go after, I love stopping cars. It's why I'm on a bike. It's why I'm in traffic. I mean, I love stopping cars, and part of it is I just like being on the bike and stopping cars because you never know what you're walking up on. Domestics and barroom brawls are fun and all, but you know what you're getting into. You don't know what you're walking up on a car.
It's like a grab bag.
But, I always tell people, especially new officers, don't just deliver the mail. Anybody, a fucking trained monkey can deliver the mail. There's no skill required at all to deliver the mail. My fun is looking for the dope, looking for the drunks, getting turn just a simple traffic ticket into an arrest.
Mm-hmm.
But up here in Missouri, after Ferguson, you're welcome, by the way, for Ferguson, Missouri. Very proud of that.
Thank you.
That's our claim to fame.
Fucked everything.
Goddamn. Our legislature, of course, knee-jerk reaction. Oh, my God, everything's out of control. They came down with a sweeping court reform in the state of Missouri. It's called Senate Bill 5. And, I mean, it lowered the fines. It lowered fine amounts that cities can bring in based off their city budgets. And then it basically, I mean, we can't file fail to appear warrants anymore. We have to send door notices, and it's a pain in the ass. And the people know this, so what sucks is somebody driving down the interstate 80 mile an hour in a 55 zone. The stretch of interstate I usually hit the most is 5 lanes southbound, 4 lanes northbound. It's 55 mile an hour.
That's just like a honey hole.
Oh, fuck. I mean, I don't even have to hardly ever shut the bike off. And if I'm working day shift, that bike never gets shut off. You just pull over and turn around, shoot the laser over your shoulder, and right back off you go. But, anymore, the people know that, a lot of agencies aren't going to chase you. And so the good people will pull over and they'll take the ticket. The shitbags will either pull over and take the ticket and then just never show up to court. And they know after 5 or 6 years, if they're not picked up on the warrant, the city has to cancel the warrant.
Yeah.
And so, the only thing the city can do through their municipal court is submit paperwork to the Department of Revenue to have their license suspended for failure to pay fines. Well, that takes up to 6 years in Missouri. You know how many people I stop every day that are suspended, revoked, or don't have a license at all? So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's another ticket, and then they're not going to show up for that one.
Yeah.
So, what's the recourse? So, at the end of the day, you're ticketing the honest, law-abiding citizens. You're ticketing the people that don't give a shit, and they're not going to give a shit. So it's kind of like, man, I want to go out there and tear it up. Part of me's like, I'm just penalizing the honest people here.
Well, y'all are way different.
So, I mean, here's a perfect example. Last summer, I'm a biker. I ride nights. I'm sitting up on the interstate. It's July 2nd or 3rd, right before the big holiday. And a crotch rocket, 11 o'clock at night, goes by me at 90 and a 55. I'm not going to let that go. That's a huge safety issue.
That's considered reckless operation down here. You get arrested for that.
Especially at nighttime, because, people aren't looking for a bike going that fucking fast. And so I pull out, and as soon as I get up, within a quarter mile of him on my bike, as soon as I hit the lights, you can see it and hear it on body camera. He just takes off. So I'm like, okay, I'll play your game. So I kick up pursuit, and we're going towards downtown, and we're doing 120, 125 down the interstate. It's an empty interstate. I mean, I think in the whole pursuit we passed like 20 cars, and we're weaving in and out, just flying down the road. And I finally get him stopped, basically force him over to the barrier wall, get him stopped, get him cuffed, impound the bike, take him off, end up charging with a whole bunch of crap. It comes to court. Now you're eluding, you're speeding, reckless, no insurance, no motorcycle endorsement, the bike's not registered, a whole slew of crap. $900 fine and 2 points on his license. What the fuck was the point of that?
We don't have points.
I mean, it's like, I should have just waved. Bye-bye. See you later.
We don't have points down here, but
so like in Missouri, I think it's 6 points. If you get 6 points in a year, they suspend your license. And a DUI is 6 points, so that's why we automatically suspend your license. But then every year, I think it's a point or a point and a half that DOR takes back off your license. So as long as you can get a ticket for speed, 15, 20 over, it's 2 points. You can just pay the ticket. Your insurance is going to go up, and you're going to have 2 points on your license. But if you're good for a year, those points go away and you start back over. So I mean, it's a never-ending game.
So y'all are refusal state on the tickets where they can refuse to sign a ticket, and you just write refused and give it to them.
Yeah, and we just switched last summer to e-tickets. So I have a tablet printer on my bike, so they don't even have to sign it. And just, here you go.
No, they're gizmos. It's electronic tickets. I love them.
Yeah, I still carry a paper ticket book because technology is technology, and every now and then that laptop freezes up or it's raining, and I'm not breaking that thing out.
So
in the
yours
rain,
is a laptop?
I have a Microsoft Surface Pro.
Okay, ours is the size of like an iPhone.
Oh, that'd be handy. I'd probably lose it. But.
It's the size of an iPhone, and I have this little bitty printer that you can hold it in one little hand, and it's it works great. But we don't. I like it when I pull people over from out of state, and they're like, well, "I'm not signing that." I'm like, "Okay, can you step out of
good?"
I'm like,
"Good, you don't have to."
I'm like, "Can you?" Well, I'm not. I'm like, "You don't have to. Can you step out of the vehicle for me?" And they're like, "For what?" I said, "I'm placing you under arrest." "For what?" I said, "Speeding."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Huh?" I was like, "Yeah, but you have two choices. There's option A and B. There's no C. Option A, you sign the citation, which I just explained to you that it was not an admission of guilt. It's either stating you're going to either pay it or come to court. It's like a subpoena."
Yeah.
Or option B, you don't have to sign it. I place you under arrest. I tow your vehicle, and you can bond out of jail afterwards. That's the only two options you have here, Mr. I don't live around here. And they go they'll sign it.
If I issue the paper ticket, they have to sign it. If they don't want to sign it, I mean, technically by the letter of the law, I could do that. I could tow their car, call a car, transport them, and book them, and then either call the judge and basically do a Zoom arraignment right then and there, or make them post bond and leave. Or just say, do the easy way out and just put refused in the signature box. And when they come to court, the judge is like, "Oh, well, you were a prick."
Yeah. Well, we don't have Zoom arraignments. They have arraignments on like Mondays. So,
well, part of that Senate Bill 5 is in Missouri. We have what we call a 24-hour hold that's investigative. I don't know if you have that down there, but if I'm investigating you for, I don't know, felony theft or felony possession of a firearm or methamphetamine, something like that, I can put you in jail for 24 hours.
We have a 72-hour.
No charges, no nothing. If I want to put you in jail for 24 hours, in the jail you go. And then after 24 hours, if I can't provide the paperwork to get you charged, well, out you go. But, since Senate Bill 5 happened, they've kind of cracked down on that. But you can't house anybody in jail for over 24 or 48 hours before them seeing a judge.
Wow.
In Missouri. Even on a warrant. Let's say you have a warrant for $1,000 for, speed, no insurance, reckless, whatever. And the bond is, $1,000. The max you're going to sit in jail is for 2 days, unless we can get a judge via Zoom or in person to the jail to arraign you.
Oh, wow. See here.
So, yeah.
If I arrest you for a warrant and you go to jail and you can't pay the bond on a warrant, you'll sit there until you go. You could sit there for months.
I mean, prior to Ferguson, that's how it was here. If you got arrested, you better get some money.
Wow.
Yeah. You better have some money coming or somebody with some money, because you'll sit there and rot till that jail crumbles and falls down.
Yeah, that's basically.
And now, 24, 48 hours max, and they're gone.
Well, has y'all's crime increased in?
Oh, hell yes. I mean, like right now, especially in Missouri, because we're like the shithole capital of the world thanks to Ferguson. Nobody wants to be a cop.
Well,
KCPD is down to their staffing levels from 1993.
Wow.
It's
kind of like Portland and New York and San Diego.
They don't work crashes unless it's a serious injury crash on the highway. They just tell you to walk in.
Really?
They do a lot of walk-in reports. I mean, unless it's a bona fide emergency, they're not responding because they can't. They don't have the manpower.
Wow.
There's times we have a half mile to the south. We have a very, very high end rich neighborhood. I'm talking $1 million plus homes. And a half mile to the north of us, we have basically low income HUD funded apartments. And Kansas City's up there all the time. And I have to go up there all the time to help cover them on calls because they're so short staffed.
So it's basically like Section 8 apartments.
Pretty much. And I mean, but in a mile's time, you go from no money to $1 million money in a mile.
That's crazy.
But, we're constantly helping out our neighboring agency because they're shorthanded, constantly helping out Kansas City because they're shorthanded. And, we have no officers and crime is through the roof because, once again, cops aren't coming. They don't have time to come.
Well, especially when, the problem is when, administration or just the way the state doesn't set it up, it makes your job 200 times tougher because especially if the bad guys know nothing's going to happen to them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like in Missouri. It's like I said earlier, the bad guys know what's coming. Nothing. The honest person that forgot to pay a ticket, they're scared to death. I've never been to jail. And the criminal's like, I can stand 48 hours out here. Who gives a shit?
You get free food.
Back in the day, I arrested some guy for domestic violence. This is when I was in patrol. He threw his old lady on the ground. I don't remember what the whole charge was for, and then kicked her so hard in the knee, it shattered her kneecap. So that's felony domestic.
That's a felony, yeah.
Yeah, that's felony domestic assault, 2nd degree in the state of Missouri. That's a Class B felony. Put him on 24-hour hold, got the paperwork filed, and he was just mouthing. I don't care. I can do a couple days. Good, because you're going to. Because the bond's like $10,000 cash only. And he ended up getting fired because he couldn't post bond. Anybody can not show up to work for a day or two, especially in these days. Everybody needs help.
Yep.
You can't hardly get fired because they can't replace you because nobody wants to work. And so, somebody misses a day or two of work, yeah, you're going to get yelled at, but they're not going to fire you. You can't miss a week of work. But we don't do that anymore. That's kind of the box. That's the box we're painted in up here.
I feel for y'all because I'm glad it hadn't. We have some areas that are. I'll just say it. I don't care. That are very democratic, and some of the big cities, they're shitholes. I'll just say it. I would. I'm not going to go to New Orleans. Okay, I mean, it's a shithole. Shreveport, Baton Rouge City's getting bad. It's well on its way there. I mean, it's nothing for us now to see to see on the news. 3 people shot last night in Baton Rouge, and you're like, oh, only 3.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think last year Kansas City had its highest murder rate ever. It's like, hello, big problem here.
Yeah, it's like
our mayor, our KCPD, biggest agency in the metro. They're actually the only police department in the country. I may be wrong on that, but I'm 99% sure I'm right. They're the only department in the country that is actually run by the state.
Did the state take them over because of corruption, or?
Yeah, back in the 40s or 50s, there used to be a mob family in town called the Pendergrass, and they pretty much had their hands in everything. And so the state came in and took them and St. Louis over, because St. Louis is a whole other ball of wax. St. Louis got local control of their government or their police department back, 10 years ago. Kansas City still does not have local control, but the mayor sits on the board of commissioners, which is appointed, by local authorities and the governor. And our mayor he's gone out of his way to, take money away, defund, just make life difficult for the Kansas City PD, which is why we have a horrible recruiting. I mean, crime's on the rise. Where crime's on the rise, you got a record high murder rate, and we're taking officers off the street and we haven't had an academy class in forever. I mean, I think there was 2 or 3 years they didn't have an academy class for Kansas City. How are you going to fill all these positions that people are just walking out and retiring, and you're not even having a class?
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I mean, Kansas City, up until just a few years ago, even if you wanted a lateral to Kansas City, you had to go through their full academy. If I wanted to, this is my 13th year. If I wanted a lateral a few years ago to Kansas City, I had to go through the whole 6-month academy again.
Yeah.
They're so short. A few years ago, they finally changed it where if you're lateral, they do an expedited, like, 3 or 4 week academy.
Our state police, I think they were. I'm not sure how it is now, but our state police, I know, used to. If I wanted to transfer, or if I wanted to get hired on state police, I say they would make you go through a full academy, and I'm like, you're not going to get a shit ton of already trained police officers, because I'm like, I had a buddy of mine that went there, and he's like, come on with me. I was like, dude, I had never been a cop before him. I was like, dude, I've been doing this shit like 6 years. I'm not going through an academy and have some dude that I got more experience in screaming in my face about something. I'm not doing it. I don't need them to teach me how to be a cop. Just teach me your policy and procedure.
Yeah. Like Missouri this year's the first time Missouri's ever even had a shortened academy for laterals for troopers ever in the entire history, because they're so shorthanded. But, in Missouri, I don't know how it is down there, but if you go to the highway patrol, you're one of the lowest paid in the state, other than county deputies.
Really? The state police?
I mean, oh yeah. Like, back when I applied to the highway patrol, that's all I ever wanted to be, was a trooper. That's all I ever wanted to be, was a trooper. And the best thing that probably ever happened to me was I didn't get hired when I applied the one time. And, you start looking at the pay scale and you're like, well, no shit. They'd hire a bunch of guys, put them through the academy. After 3 years, when their contract was up, they were gone. They go to Kansas City and take a $15,000 pay increase instantly.
Well, our state police is like way well paid. Like, I got a buddy. He's getting close to retirement, but he's a lieutenant, and I think a master trooper makes a master trooper with time. I mean,
yeah.
You got 15, 20 years. Or more. These dudes are like clocking in like $95,000 a year. My buddy's a lieutenant. He's making like $120,000 a year.
When I applied, it was back in 2006 or 2007, way back when I was still in college, and the starting pay for a trooper was $32,000. And granted, it's 2006 money, so Mm-hmm. But my local police department of a town of 33,000 where I lived at that time, they were starting out at 39.
Hmm.
I don't have to move clear across the state, and I make 6,000 more.
Yeah.
Let me think about that real quick. And that finally Missouri kind of got caught up where there's parity to kind of match the recruiting issues. Because St. Louis and Kansas City just throw money at you, and well, hell yeah, I'm tired of working crashes in the ice and snow. I'm going to go work in Kansas City.
Yeah,
they've worked on that, but that's been the highway patrol's problem forever here. But it's funny, the situations that all law enforcement ends around here, because nobody wants to do it. So now they're having to change their standards.
Let me tell you what I made when I first started law enforcement. Went full time December 15th, 1995 was my full time hire date. Now I did like 3 years reserve before then, but I got hired on full time in 1995, right before 96. And my starting pay was, are you sitting down?
I'm sitting.
Okay. Because I don't want you to just fall down laughing or whatever. It was $895 before taxes.
Is that a month?
That was a month.
God damn.
Yeah.
So when my first full-time law enforcement job was in 2009. I had to work as a reserve for a few months for the city council got their heads out of their ass and hired me. They were 4 officers short in a 14-man department. So they were working 12s by themselves. And me and another guy went to the academy together, ended up working here together for a few years. But when we went full-time, our pay was $13.70 an hour in 2009. I'm thinking, what in the fuck? What am I doing?
I was making $5.59 an hour.
Jesus. So I love retro TV. You'll like this. You'll see where I'm going here in a minute. One of my favorite shows is Supermarket Sweep.
Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah. So it's based there's like a series from the early 90s, like 91 to 94. Then it went off the air for a few years and it came back in like 97 to like 2000. Some of those products, the sale price on them and shit, I'm like, oh my God, they're giving that shit away. I go to Walmart down the road here and it's like 5 times that.
Well,
there was a name, the one that's not 99 cents a night. It was like a whole box of Ivory soap and it sold for $1.35. I'm like, Jesus Christ, if I bought a box of Ivory soap today, it'd be like $9.
When I was in high school, like I said, I'm a little bit older than you. When I was in high school, it was, I graduated in 89, so it was like 87, 86 and stuff like that. You could go to Taco Bell. Tacos were 19 cents each.
Oh, shit, I'd be full. Here's $100. Fill me up.
Gas, I think gas was right around 65 cents a gallon.
When I got my driver's license, gas was about $1.15, I think.
You could buy a pack of cigarettes for 60 cents. Of course, I was working at McDonald's, my first little job. I made $3.25 an hour. I was bringing home I was making $240 a month and still money left over,
Oh, yeah.
Because everything was cheap. That's why I'm going to hear everybody saying, oh, we need $15 an hour minimum wage. I'm like, you do realize that's not going to be enough because they're just going to jack the price of everything up.
Yeah. That's all well in theory and paper, but these companies have a profit margin they operate off of.
They're just going to pass it on to the consumer.
Yeah, they base their projections on that. So one of two things is going to happen, especially at fast food. And McDonald's did it a long time ago, at least the McDonald's around here. They started that $15 an hour nonsense. First thing I walked into a McDonald's a few years ago, you placed your order on a computer in the lobby. You went through the menu, picked what you wanted, and then you inserted your card or cash and it took your payment and it gave you a number. Then you went to the counter and they'd have a little, here's number 6. Well, there's my food. And you walked away. There was nobody taking the order. You know why? Because you're paying that person $7.50 or $9, whatever minimum wage was, to sit there and do that. It's just like the fucking self-checkout at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the days Walmart had 30 cash registers and 25 of them were open.
Well, they still got 30 cash registers. They're just not open.
Yeah. My Walmart now has 5 registers. All the rest, there's probably let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Another. I think there's 12 self checkout and 5 regular registers.
Well,
I'm like, come on, people, why are you working for free?
I hate self checkout myself, and maybe because I'm just old, or whatever. But now you have one cashier watching 8 registers or something like that, and it's like,
and it never fails. Something always fucks up or doesn't scan. You're like, you know what? Now you got to come over here and do your job originally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've been still waiting on my W-2s from Walmart since.
Oh shit!
I was working there checking myself out. See, I do very little shopping at Walmart. I hate Walmart.
So do I, but my other half thinks it's the greatest thing ever.
I hate Walmart. My wife agrees with me. I only buy shit from there when I have to. We'll actually go to. It's called Rouse's. It's a locally owned like supermarket chain around here.
Yeah, we got something like that called Harps, but yeah, same thing.
But I'll gladly go there and pay more money for groceries just not to give my money to Walmart.
Exactly.
And it's like it's just I don't like it.
No, I get it, but that's the whole deal. You want $15 an hour? Great. You know what we're going to do? Eliminate positions because we are going to maintain our profit margin. And if that means we're going to get rid of people, then we're just going to get rid of people and make machines do it. And these fucking people will go, oh, well, yeah, it's fun. I can check myself out. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah,
you're not helping. And the first people that'll use that self checkout is the same one that says, I need $15 an hour to work at McDonald's. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Look at the irony here. Open your eyes.
My wife gets so mad.
You are taking your own job. You're literally taking your food off your own table here.
She's like, calm down. They can't hear. I'm like, it's like you go to McDonald's, like these motherfuckers want $15 an hour and they can't even remember to put damn fries in the bag.
Yeah. Man, I if you pay attention to my TikTok, like I'm a smoothie addict. So I used to drink
Smoothie King?
Yeah, exactly. Smoothie King is the shit. But, I used to drink like 2 gallons of Pepsi a day.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, I don't drink coffee. I've had 3 cups in my whole life. One was when I was a kid. My mom's like, "You want to try some coffee?" Sure. Terrible.
Ruined it.
And then we were doing a funeral escort. We did back-to-back funeral escorts one day. This is 2012, January 2012. We did one for a water patrol trooper that got killed in floodwaters the previous summer. And it was raining the entire time. And the escort route was like 70 miles in the pouring down rain, but it was like 55 degrees. So, whatever. The next day, we had an officer shot and killed up in Atchison, which is northwest Missouri. The high for the day was 23. Mm. And Atchison's right on the river. So we got down that river bottom. I was on that Kawasaki KZ still. No heated nothing. And we come rolling up to where the service is at the college up there. And I put the kickstand down, dropped the Kawasaki over on the kickstand. And I put my foot on the ground. I thought all my toes broke off in my boots. We go inside and they go, "Well, we got coffee for you." I'm like, "I don't even like coffee. Give me 2 gulps." I'll choke this nasty stuff down just not to freeze to death. And that's the only Coke I've had. But Smoothie King, back where I'm going with this, they pay their employees locally here like $13 or $14 an hour to make smoothies. But you know what? They're made right.
Yeah.
The same people show up every day. And, the smoothie I drink is like $7.85. I don't care. I buy enough smoothies that I have $2 and $5 off coupons all the time on the app.
As long as you stay away from Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're communists.
I don't drink that crap.
I drink usually. I'm not a ginormous. I say I drink coffee. I don't really drink coffee. I drink really sweet milk that's light brown.
I get it.
It's like coffee flavor. It's like light coffee flavored creamer taste.
So basically, it's milk, creamer, sugar with a splash of coffee.
Yeah, kind of like that. I usually use Splenda, but
kind of like Jack and Coke with just a splash of Coke.
Yeah, I don't have to have the coffee. And I'm not really not a soda drinker really either, unless it's got whiskey in it. Other than that, I usually buy the bottles of water and just buy the little flavor packs and drink those.
Yeah. But I don't
like the taste of plain water.
Yeah, plain water's nasty. And all the gym people, you got to drink water, No, I don't, because that stuff's terrible.
That's why I just buy the flavor pack. I try to buy the flavor packs. I like the flavor.
I'm just like, you know what? Smoothies are made of ice. That's water.
Yeah, it's like you can't have cake for breakfast. It's like, well, it's got wheat.
It's got wheat,
It's got
eggs,
it's
and
got
goodness.
eggs.
Like, what more do I need?
It's got eggs in it. I mean, it's like breakfast food right there.
Yeah, like cake and sprinkled donuts are a major food group for me. Like, come on.
They're not called donuts. They're called crime-fighting super biscuits.
We call them power circles. It's like, that's a major food group. Don't tell me I can't have that crap. I'll go to the gym. Here's how messed up in the head I am. I'll go to the gym and do 4 or 5 miles on the treadmill and then get on the exercise bike. And I'll be at the gym for an hour and a half so I can eat them goddamn donuts.
Well, we got a place up the road from us and they sell, it's you know what a kolache is, right?
No,
It's basically like a pig in a blanket. It's just
okay.
big. But these are like these are kind of like the old school rolls, the old Big East school rolls back in the day that they don't make anymore. But it's stuffed with boudin, and I could eat just like a shit ton of those because I don't know if you know what boudin is, but it's delicious.
Probably like me and mozzarella sticks. As long as you keep me in marinara sauce, there's not a mozzarella stick I won't eat.
But I usually bring, when I get up in the morning, I got my routine. I get up, do 3 S's. I usually go in the kitchen. I cook my breakfast. I let some of the dogs out, and I fix my breakfast, and I fix my lunch, which is usually I just bring on like wheat bread and stuff, and I make 2 sandwiches and bring with me. And I got a protein bar.
Well, you don't go to the Lord. You don't go to the Lord's Chicken and get your free lunch.
We don't have the Lord's Chicken in the parish where I work.
What?
No.
What?
The closest Lord's Chicken's probably a good 45 minutes away from.
Holy shit! You need to call somebody.
Yeah. Now they did down in a neighboring parish. They just opened Raising Cane's, but it's not the Lord's Chicken.
Yeah, it's not the Lord's Chicken.
No,
people know what the Lord's Chicken is.
I'm not going to tell you what the Lord's Chicken is. Listening, you're going to have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But the Lord's Chicken's usually always free too.
Hell yeah, it is.
But
we had a local. I mean, he's a total dirtbag, and he's a cop. Kind of. I mean, his Missouri Post, has suspended his license like 2 or 3 times, and he's been in the news for civil rights violations. Like, he's just bad news bears.
And he still got a badge.
Oh yeah, but that son of a bitch used to come to the Chick-fil-A up by us in uniform on his days off so he could get his free chicken. I'm like, what are you
really?
doing? You son of a bitch.
I just talked about that in a past episode with ex-Iceman, with JoJo asked me. We talked about, she asked me if I'd ever used my position to get free stuff, and we had a whole conversation about it because
I'm sorry, but any cop that says they haven't's fucking lying. Whether you go, we have Quick Trip up here. I don't know what you got down there, but
no, I'm not saying I don't. If I go someplace that usually gives us free stuff, and then they got a new person that don't, I don't say nothing. I just pay for it. I don't expect it.
Quick Trip, they encourage you to come in and get a free drink because for them that's free security, and they don't have to pay a security guard to stand there because they know cops are going to come in at all hours of the day.
Oh, that's like a Circle K's. It's just like stopping up. And it's just known. It's just known. You go in there and you walk up to the drink machine, the fountain machine, or icy or whatever, and just get you what you want to drink, and you don't.
And dip out.
You just walk out. Yeah.
Like me, I always, when I was a rookie, I didn't know any better. I was like, fine, whatever. I'm going to go take a free drink. And now I'm just like, well, I'm going to go over here and buy a 20-ounce bottle because that's inventory, and they have to make me pay for that. Or, like late at night, usually about 12:30 or 1, I'm starting to get a little drowsy. Like, I need me to pick me up. I'll go in there and get a fountain drink, but I will buy something, whether it's a pack of gum or something. I don't know why, but I'm just like, I feel guilty. I don't want your free shit.
Yeah, well, especially being on a motorcycle, very seldomly do I get fountain drinks, and I'm not a big pop soda drinker as it is. But
like
if
on
I'm
the
going
BMW,
if I'm going to drink a carbonated, I'm going with the White Monster.
see, I never could get into energy drinks. They used to have I think it was Go Fast or something. Go Fast Orange, I think is what it's called. They never really caught on. Red Bull kind of buried them, but those are pretty tasty. But I can't drink a Red Bull or anything like that. I don't know what it is, but I hate the taste and hate the feeling and those things about that.
Well, the Monsters really don't do nothing. I just like the White Monster. If I'm gonna drink something carbonated.
Like, does your Harley have a cup holder on it?
It did. That I put on myself, and it kind of vibrated off and broke, and I just never replaced it.
My Kawasaki had one, and there was enough room on the handlebars on the Kawasaki. You could put it on the right-hand side, like right next to the mirror, right before the handlebar dips down to the tree. So it was out of the wind, so you could have a fountain drink with a straw, and it wouldn't blow the damn straw out. Excellent. There was always a cup in that damn holder.
Well, usually
I went to the BMW. You cannot put a cup holder on that bike.
Well, I'm correct. The BMW saddlebags open to the side, right?
Do I now?
Your saddlebags, they kind of open up to the side.
The old ones did. The 1100s and the 1150s did. The 1200s and the 1250s now, they open top up. They open straight up.
Oh, like our saddlebags doing Harley.
Oh, yours open out from the top, right? They hinge out away from the bike.
Yeah, but there's a latch right there. I can be going down the road, reach down with either hand, pop the release switch, and just open my box straight up and grab whatever's in there.
It's like my KZ was like that. There's latches on front and back. I only ever latched the front ones because I could reach them from the seat, and you could flop the bag open and do whatever you need to do and flop it back. On the BMW, there's only one latch, and it's all the way in the back. You can barely reach it, but you better not be running because you'll crash. You got to be sitting still, but you can barely reach back there, but it opens straight towards the front of the bike, up and towards the front. But, I mean, it's kind of weird to get used to, but it's kind of nice on the side of the road because it takes up no space, and you can look straight down in your bag.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll usually buy, if I have a drink, if I don't have water, my own water bottle, like you can buy something with a screw top. So if I am traveling and don't want to stop, I'll have it right there. I can just pop my saddlebag up and grab it and get something to drink while I'm going down the road.
That's why I like the 20 ounce, because I can throw that in a saddlebag, and even if it gets shook up or whatnot, it's not going to make a mess. It's got a lid on it. I do have a cup holder that mounts to the left side crash bar, but it's completely exposed. And it's one of those, it mounts on there, but then the whole frame oscillates, so it's always level. That's bullshit. Yeah. And the straw will blow out anytime you go over 60, so it's pretty worthless. Mm-hmm. But a funny story about the Harley bags is when I was in motor school, I went through KCK's motor school, which that's where they throw cones at you. Every time you hit a cone, they throw one at you.
Well, that's not very nice of them.
You know what, though? It makes you not want to hit cones. So funny. But we'd go to lunch. First day of motor school, you're nervous. And, back to that motorcops.com that you were talking about earlier. They used to sell a DVD. I still have it. It was like the basics of police motorcycle operation, talk about T-clock maintenance, and they walked you through some of the drills and the dimensions. I watched that religiously for 2 months leading up to motor school. And so I'd already been practicing it at the house and stuff. But, you go to motor school, you're nervous as shit. And, the first day we're in the classroom for 3 hours. We drive out to the Kansas Speedway, which is where motor school was. We ride around for an hour, and the instructor's like, "Okay, we're going to go to lunch. This is how we go to lunch. We're going to be nose to tail and saddlebag. And we travel 15 miles over the speed limit." I don't know any of these people. I don't know nobody. And I think there was 8 people in our class, plus the 3 instructors, plus, anytime there's motor school, Motorcop show up to motor school.
Well, yeah, we get free riding, and I want to see people. Yeah. I want to see people just busting their ass and get.
Yeah. So there's 20 of us going to lunch. None of us have ever ridden this close any time other than the veterans. And we're driving down the road, and just by pure luck, I'm probably the third row back. So, the front 6. And it's 2 instructors, an instructor, and a veteran, and then me and some other rookie. That's how the front 6 is lined up, and there's a whole trail of them behind us. We're running 90 mile an hour down the interstate, no lights, no siren, and there's maybe a foot between my front wheel and the guy's fender on the back ahead of me. Same thing behind me, and there's 6 inches between saddlebags side to side. And the instructors up ahead of us, at 90 mile an hour, they're reaching over and adjusting each other's mirrors and hitting their lights and that's when the hockey puck bags were a thing.
Yeah, I remember my.
They'd reach over there and unscrew that thing, you'd open the bag, and guy'd slam his bag shut. And I'm like, these people are nuts.
Yeah, me and my
What are you doing?
me and one of my partners were driving down the road just bullshitting. We were 10-8. We were driving down the road just bullshitting. Well, we were like, our saddlebags were bumping. Like while we were going down the road, we were probably running about 60. Just having a conversation. Well, we were getting ready to come up to a red light. Well, we were going to separate a little bit because we were bumping into each other. While down levers got locked up with each other.
Oh shit!
So now basically their bikes are stuck together, and it's like I don't care how good you are, you're not going to stop dead exactly,
No.
Especially from that
No,
speed.
you're not.
We're just kind of looking at each other like, oh fuck, what are we going to do? And
Yeah.
I'm not a giant guy, but I'm 6 foot, and I was back then I was in way better shape. I was about 240, and I looked at him. I said, "Hold on." I said, "Hold on." and
One of us is going to eat the asphalt.
Well, no, I grabbed. We were coming up to this red line. I'm like, "Fuck!" I said, "Hold on." I yelled at him, and I just like jerked, like I was going to the left really hard, and it like ripped. It was his I think it was his clutch handle. And
oh shit!
Yeah, it ripped.
Things went from bad to worse for him.
But it ripped the complete clutch handle completely out of the housing and everything. We were like,
oh my god!
Thank God there was a store right there, so we were just able to like coast them in there. It's like, yeah, we had to call somebody like, look, go run by the shop and grab us a clutch handle. Like, for what?
Yeah.
It's like, just go grab it.
Don't
be
ask
asking
questions. Just do it.
but we got locked up like that.
Speaking of Harley and their problem, why do they have that stupid Jiffy stand spring? I haven't changed in 50 fucking years.
Oh my God, it's horrible. We actually carry springs with
every
us.
motor cop I know that rides a Harley has like 3 of them in their saddlebag.
You got to. I mean, I've broke,
and a long
I broke
screwdriver, and I can't remember the open-end combination wrench. They all have it. I'm like, and they have zip ties. Someone falls off, they can zip tie the damn kickstand to the frame.
Our guys actually figured out how to put a big magnet on there, so if your spring breaks, you can still sling the magnet will hold your stand up to the frame.
Well, there's a picture from not the last rodeo I participated in. I won that one. That was kind of fun. I was at a Harley dealership, and I took first place and Top Gun. Boy, they were pissed. But the rodeo before that was at a Harley dealership, and there's a picture of I don't remember who was in the course, but in the background, you're looking at this guy and he's leaned over, scraping boards, going through the course, yay, hurrah for him. In the background, there's like 4 Harleys laid up on the curbs because every single one of them broke off the spring. God damn, people, come on.
We actually got guys.
You can't redesign this.
We actually got guys when we're doing competitions will like take their kickstand completely off.
You might as well, because all it is dead weight.
They had because if you break your kickstand spring while you're doing it, it's going to fall down. It can kill your bike and all this stuff like that. And so what they do is they got this block of wood with a rope on it. So when they stop, they pull this block of wood out their saddlebag and they just stick it under there.
These guys just pull their bike up to the curb and then just let it sit on the fucking floorboard for the primary. I'm like, God, this is like the worst advertisement for a Harley ever. They're at the dealership and there's 4 bikes out here that can't put the stupid kickstand down. Well, you got a piss poor design.
Harley keeps redesigning the police bikes. It's like you can tell they're not asking cops what they want on these bikes.
No.
The shit they change on, it's like, why the fuck would you do this?
I mean, that's one thing about, I like the metrics. I always have the metrics. Over the Kawasaki, and I've got the BMW. Those are purpose-built machines. Like, they're based on a civilian model, but then they take input, and then build it specifically for law enforcement. And the bikes are 100 times better.
Well, I don't know. I'm preferential to my Harley, but everybody's what's the first thing? First thing Harley cop does when he gets his bike. I can guarantee you he's somewheres with a Dremel tool drilling out his baffles.
Oh well, hell yeah! There was a local agency that they're on BMWs now. So this local agency, they're on the Missouri side. Used to know every single one of them guys. Now there's not one person I know in the unit. They've all transferred out, got hurt, had to retire, whatever. But they went from Road Kings to the Victories. junk, and now they're on
Yeah.
BMWs. Like in the course of 10 years, they've gone through 3 completely manufacturers, not just models, but man, God.
Victor came out this way and was like, "Oh, y'all come ride these demo bikes and trying to sell them." We're like, we rode them and we're like, "Yeah, we're good, thanks."
I mean, the few people, the Kansas City Metro had the first one ever. Lenexa PD got it. Very first one they ever sold as a police unit for Victory went to Lenexa PD. And the agreement was, from what I understand, because I kind of knew the guy, he was one of my instructors at wheel school. He was on a Honda when I went through wheel school. Then he went to that Victory. But from what I understand was they basically gave Lenexa that bike for free. But then he had to go to like 5 rodeos a year to show it off for like 3 or 4 years.
Well, hell, poor guy. He had to go do rodeo.
Yeah, poor thing.
I mean, that's like free vacations.
Yeah, the thing was, is if he tore the bike up at the rodeo, Victory's repairing that, not his city. So I mean, go hard or go home.
Yeah, I mean,
but the few people in the metro, I think at the peak, I think there were 4, 5, 6. I think there was 8, maybe 9 in the entire metro area on Victory.
Do they even still make Victory bikes?
That's bikes, not department. That's like 9 in the whole metro. Everybody said the same thing. It's like riding your recliner down the road. They are so comfortable and just, but the reliability and maneuverability, like we're in I don't know how your guys' rodeos are, but our rodeo up here the last few years, they have what they call like a knockout, last man standing. And so they make each year the pattern's different, so you can't practice. But they'll mark off a big rectangle and they'll put some cones out in the middle. One year it was like a winged wheel shape and had some cones out in the middle.
Yeah,
basically,
we do. We have like they call it a Texas Challenge or something. Basically,
you basically have to follow the exact path.
Yes,
you can't hit a cone. You can't put your foot down. Blah 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 blah. Well, one year it's all based off a lottery. You just reach your hand in a hat, and that's who you have to go against. I was on the KZ and had to go against the guy on a Victory. That lasted about 12 seconds.
Yes, that probably didn't last very long.
Hell no, I could take that thing anywhere. He was just like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I should just forfeit.
I remember how many years ago it was. We had a guy show up to motor competition on a fucking gold wing.
Oh yeah, that's big in Texas. That's like a Houston thing. They're real big down in Houston for whatever.
But he showed up on a gold wing. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, goddamn luxury.
It's like,
how's the reverse working out?
I mean, like you might as well just like rig out a Escalade for your unit or something.
Oh shit. Have you seen? I'm not really a big Harley guy, but obviously, even my personal bike's been Triumph for other metrics. But have you seen where Harley's trying to make the Rogue Glide a police bike? So they're in testing right now with the Rogue Glide.
That's the one with the fixed fairing bike.
That's the fixed.
Yeah,
it's basically a street glide. It's basically a street glide with a fixed fairing.
I can't stand fixed fairing bikes.
They're doing experiments right now, trying to sell that to police agencies. I think what they're trying to do. Remember back in the 80s and early 90s, the FXRP was super popular. It was the main competitor against the Kawasaki KZ because it was a fixed fairing too. And I think that's what they're trying to do is come back with a fixed fairing bike.
I keep my windshield. I've ridden fixed fairing bikes and it fucks with me when I'm in cone because the fairing stays
shit
and the fairing stays straight.
Yeah, every bike I've rode's a fixed fairing. I mean, my BMW's a fixed fairing, that Kawasaki's a fixed fairing. You cannot see your front wheel at all.
No,
you're basically just guessing. Well, I think we're here. Well, yeah, hopefully.
I'll keep my windshield.
I mean, they're really nice on long rides, but boy, for cones and enforcement in tight areas, I would hate that.
Oh yeah, well, I wish Harley would go back to the skinny tire bike from 08.
That's what they're trying to do. That and that Pan Am, like crossover dual sport. If you've seen that,
I haven't seen it.
Harley actually brought that out to our area last fall to one of the monthly trainings. We have a citywide metro training once a month. Anybody who's on a motor can show up. It's free. It's just cones and crap. But, they brought that thing out and let anybody ride if they wanted to. It's an interesting concept.
Sounds like it. Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer. We're almost an hour and a half. everybody. I know I have enjoyed it. Hope y'all did. I know we did a lot of bullshit, and that's the motor guys get together and they're gonna talk. You want to hear a bunch of motor? That's basically just conversations you can get right here. You're more than welcome to come back. Don't hang up. I'm gonna close this out. I want to get your address and stuff so I can mail you some stickers and stuff. You can find him on TikTok at MOTORCOP, the number 4, and then Life. Go check him out. He's got a lot of videos and stuff. And like I always said, go like and subscribe. Go check out the merchandise on in the link that'll be below. Watch your back. Watch your partner's back. And remember to always smile because the Iceman can be behind you.